Welcome to the second episode of an underrated podcast. Today I sat down with Lenny Perno. We talked about life in school and on the ice and his unique perspective to get him through both. I hope you enjoy. What do you, going into the summers, what do you usually, what are you up to?
So once I'll get back and I'll probably hang out for a couple weeks and then get stuff situated. I work out at Next Level Fitness, a place in Rochester. It's at the rink. So it's me and a group of college guys, and junior guys, null guys, some D3 guys, some D1 guys. And I'll train usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, and then skate Monday, Wednesday, Friday at night. So I'm on the ice a lot and training a lot and stuff. So
You guys have the same group? Because for me, general same guys.
I mean, a couple guys have fallen out just because they've either stopped playing or have had, my one buddy has an internship over the summer, so he won't be there. But yeah, I've been training with the same group of guys for probably 5 years at this point or whatever. I don't know. Yours is probably similar.
Yeah. We obviously had a lot in high school.
Yeah.
And then it dwindled down. But a lot of the CBA guys are still playing. So we'll catch up in the summer. We have a good, we'll do 3-on-3 every Friday.
Yeah,
we do.
We do the same. We do 3v3 a league.
Yeah.
And we do every, I think, Thursday night or whatever, late, and we'll play, and then it's a championship at the end. So.
Yeah. And I don't know, honestly, that's probably some of the most fun I have. Because it's the skill level for that group's it's all D1, and then there's a kid on Hobart and a kid at Utica.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
so it's still
everybody's buzzing around, yeah.
Yeah, that's how mine. The 3v3 group is pretty good. It's a lot of Brockport and Naz guys, and then sometimes they'll play in the scrimmage in the summer with they have D1 pro guys and stuff, Alex Tuck's brothers in it and some other stuff. So that's good. Sometimes you get lit up, but it's usually fun.
Yeah. Do you so you grew up in Rochester, so growing up, local team around there? Did you
Yeah,
move
when
away?
I played for the junior Amherst when I was younger, and then but before that when I was even younger, I played for Monroe County, the Eagles. And then I went to Rochester Junior Amherst and then was there for a while. And then when I was 15, I went to the Monarchs. And then I finished travel with the Monarchs and then played juniors with them for a couple months at NCDC. And then they ended up folding. And then I ended up doing the whole junior thing. But it was good. I liked playing in Rochester a lot. The travel back then, the travel teams were huge. There was a ton. Now it's a lot smaller. There's only maybe 1 or 2 AAA teams. Before there's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it kind of my team wasn't the best AAA team, but it was still pretty good. We have a few guys who are still playing and stuff, and it was all the best high school kids pretty much. But it was still good, and we would play split season. So I'd play starting in the summer almost, and then we'd stop and I'd go play high school, and then I'd come back and we'd play for another month, and then the season would be over.
Yeah.
So.
And it was just always that's how it was for us. We would play all the time because I don't know, here we in Jersey we had so many teams. I don't really imagine if you grew up here Rosie they must travel so far and just go to tournaments all the time.
We went to so my 16s year we were in the USPHL, so that was made it more of a league, and we would go to Boston a lot and stuff and New Jersey to play.
Yeah.
But then my other years, my 15 and my 18 year, we weren't in the USP. We were independent, so we would just play. And that was fun, but it was a little weird because there was no besides making it to states, which my last year of 18Us, we qualified for states, but then half of our team was ineligible because we played NCDC, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But God forbid we get better a little bit. So we couldn't go to states, but then COVID ended up hitting anyway, so it didn't make a difference. We didn't have it anyways. But it was fun. I travel a lot, and I played for my buddy's dad my 16th year. He was probably one of my favorite coaches. Rory Fitzpatrick played in the NHL for I don't know, probably 10 years or whatever and stuff. So he was good. He didn't take any shit from the parents and stuff. So it was good. And then when I was younger, my dad coached me, and then he kind of stepped back a little bit because he wanted me to just kind of be on my own a little bit. He was still there all the time, but didn't want to be a coach. So but it was still good. And then high school was fun. I mean, wasn't the best hockey, but it was cool representing our school.
Yeah.
We didn't win much, but it was still cool. And then like there too, I had a good coach and it was fun. And like high school is cool because like it's kind of where I started to realize like a lot of people don't like know shit about hockey. Like even if
Yeah.
they play it,
Yeah.
like a lot of like kids on that team in school and whoever, like even some of my buddies, just like would be like, oh, like yeah, like I want to go play at Union or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like thinking it's just like a
Yeah.
like you do good in high school, you go there or whatever. Especially in like school, I would have a good game, go to school the next day, and people would be like, oh, like you're incredible. Like and when I was playing against like house kids or
Yeah.
something. So I started like at my last year of high school is when I kind of realized that, and then I started putting more like emphasis on to like playing like NCDC and travel, and I would
Yeah.
miss a lot of high school stuff, and guys would be like, "Why are you skipping high school games?" I'd be like, "Well,
They
I don't want my
matter.
career to be over in,
Yeah.
in 2 weeks." But high school was fun. It was cool playing for. That's what I get here a little bit like it's fun playing for a like a college or something.
Yeah.
Like it's cool having like a bigger environment, but it was fun. So
Yeah. And like, did you have, so like for me, like I kind of had a similar experience where like I didn't know much. Like in high school, like the school I went to, like we have a lot of guys who like played juniors and like went on to play pro, but like also like we had a lot of guys who like went to like the USHL when
yeah,
they were like
yeah.
16. So like the experience was different. Like I didn't really understand how it happened or like how it would work, and I didn't have anybody like guiding me. Do you have like somebody like in your family, or do you have like an advisor or something
Yeah,
on
well,
you?
my dad played at Oswego and then played pro, played in the AHL for a little bit. So he obviously knew what was going on, but he also like I wouldn't say keep me in the dark about it, but still let me like he wasn't like no, you're not playing high school because it's
Yeah.
not great, whatever. Like he let me do kind of what I wanted to do, which was nice, and never like forced me to like go play on a team that was like far away or anything like that. So I got to be around home. But yeah, I remember driving to school. I was probably like 15, and as a kid, I was always like, oh, I want to go to the NHL. I want to do this,
Yeah.
whatever. And then I remember, so my dad was with Xcelsior at that time, and they're sick and they were winning a lot. And I remember I'd skate with the goalies before sometimes with my dad and the older guys, the
Yeah.
college goalies, and I would see the shooters, and I remember just being like, wow, these guys are like unbelievable. Like obviously you're younger,
Yeah.
but they're still like the one guy, Tyson, like MP, like went to the AHL right from Geneseo. Like they're sick, and I kind of looked at it, and I remember going to school, and I was looking out the window, and I was like, you know what, like, I just want to play Division III college hockey. Like
Yeah.
maybe like playing like in the NHL that might be a little tough, but like that kind of made me realize like how good like Division III college hockey was from an early age.
Yeah.
So that's why like a lot of times when other people or people that don't know may say like, oh, you play D3 or do this, I kind of like rubs me the wrong way, and I get pretty like territorial about it because it's like you have no clue like how hard it is to get to a school, like especially with how political hockey is and all like your look, how tall you are, especially for goalies and stuff like that, like and like you could do a million things right and one thing wrong, and if you're not like in the favor of the right people, like you're screwed. So
Yeah.
like that's why when I got to school here, and like some people who may not understand, it's not like their fault, will be like, oh, like what's the big deal? It's D3 hockey. It's like literally like what is it, like probably 2% or whatever the
Yeah.
number is of people in high school actually play in college. So that was my goal. Younger was to get to school, and then it kind of changed as I got through juniors. But it was always like I want to play NCAA, and if I could do that, whether I play in NCAA or don't play or back up whatever, that at least if I'm there, I could say I completed it and played a lot longer than 95% of
Yeah.
my friends and stuff. Because I look at my travel team, like the only people still playing right now is Fitzy, who plays at Williams, which is D3, and then my buddy Gunner, who's at Alaska Anchorage, and he's I think transferring to RPI. So like he was the best one out of us. But then there was like probably 10 of those kids in that team who could have played if they wanted to, but didn't want to do the junior grind and do all the extra stuff, and so they just went to school. And I see some of them now, and they're like, oh, like man, I wish I kept playing, or I wish I did that. And it's just like at the time when I was 18, a lot of people were like, why don't you just go to school? Like, why don't you just, and then now I'm 21 or I was 21 when I aged out. Now I'm 23. But when I go home and talk to those guys, they're like, man, like you're so lucky to still be playing and stuff. So I think that kind of shifted between people as they kind of grew up and were like, man, like maybe I should have played for a couple more years, even if it didn't. Because I told all my friends, I said, even if you play juniors for 3 years and it doesn't result in you playing NCAA, you can still go play club somewhere and you're still playing hockey and you get 3 extra years of not having to be an adult, kind of. So that's always my thing growing up too. Is I see my parents. My dad always told me, he's like, do whatever you love to do for as long as you can and like have fun, because like you have your whole life to work. So I know we joke about it, how like don't throw around the J slur, like like getting a job and stuff, but like really it's like I loved hockey, but I was partially like I loved the lifestyle more than the game as I got older. Like I love the guys. I love being in the locker room. I love doing like court. Like I loved all that stuff more than actually playing sometimes as I got older. When I was a kid, it was like, oh, I can't wait to put my skates on. Now it's more like, oh, I can't wait to like see 25 of my friends every day for the next, including junior 7 years or whatever. So that's kind of how I looked at it. And then I'm blessed to be at school and still playing, and it's obviously a grind, and here's been good and bad, but like at the same time it's like you could be digging ditches for minimum wage. So
definitely. Like obviously now you still live, like you live with the guys at the house. Like in juniors, what was your junior situation like? Like I know for me, I was talking to Luch about it. It's like I had billets. I had lived in a house. Like I was on a couch for a bit. Like what was that like for you?
So my first year in Richmond, I lived with a family, the Bigs, great people. Like I know I've heard some shitty billet stories and stuff. I don't know what yours were like, but like my billets were great. My first year, like did everything for us. Were super supportive. Came to all the games and stuff. Like they're the best. I still keep in touch with them today. And then after Richmond, I signed in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League with Battlefords. I ended up getting mono really bad. We ended up in the hospital for like 8 days. Lost like about 40 pounds, and that was fucked. Like almost died with the mono stuff. It was just kind of a freak thing. And then I got like COVID. So that was like a whole terrible thing there. And then I finally got better and then got told like, hey, like your spleen's enlarged, even though I felt fine. Like I felt completely fine, but they're like, your spleen's enlarged. If you hit a certain way or a puck hits you, like your spleen could rupture and you're screwed. So I couldn't do contact. So almost that whole summer, actually not that entire summer, all the way into October after my junior season, so March to October, I would go out there with my dad. He would get ice at Lakeshore, and Luch would actually be out there sometimes when he was younger and in high school still. And I would just do footwork and like shots on the ice or something for my dad and stuff. So those were like really like hard days. Like when you like were like, I feel fine, but nothing's like changing, and you have to go to the doctors like every week and stuff. But eventually that got better. And then I got cleared, and then the day I got cleared, my team in Battleford signed a guy from, I think it might have been the AJ or some major junior place, which is, it was already a month into the season for them, and I wasn't there, so I ended up getting cut from there. And then I was kind of scrambling. It was like end of October. I didn't have a team, and I remember trying to get on with like another like tier 2 junior team like up in Canada. But it wasn't really working out. My first year of juniors was good. I put up decent numbers, but it wasn't anything crazy. And after the Eshton thing fell through, I didn't really have a backing. So I ended up emailing Elmira, which, like, at the time I was just kind of like, I just have to play. I have to play somewhere. So I went to Elmira. They ended up taking me, which I know our team up there wasn't the best, but they basically got me back into playing, so I was ready to be done at that point. And I lived in a community college dorm, which was cool. Like, kind of got me. It was a super small school, like even smaller than this, like community college in Elmira. But like, kind of got me an idea of what college was like a little bit, like walking around campus and like going to the dining hall and stuff like that. So I lived there, and then around January, Elmira Elmira was a lot of fun. I met some great guys who I'm still friends with today. But, like, it wasn't really a spot where I could get to NCAA out of, and I knew that. Luckily, it was my second year, so I wasn't too worried. But my one teammate, Clarkey, who's from Rochester, he was the captain of Vermont in the EHL, and they said, like, our goalie's struggling a little bit, like, we need a goalie. So he called me, brought me in, ended up going up there, and I lived in the whole team actually lived in a Sonesta Suites, like, extended stay hotel, which was, like, fun. But, like, we also, like, the heat would always break, and it's freezing up there, and, like, so that was a grind living there. But it was good. I was there for a couple months. We won a lot, which was great to get back into that, because I probably went, I got one win with Elmira, but before that win, I probably went over, like, probably close to, like, 10 months without getting a win.
Yeah.
Like, not playing every single day, but still, like, it kind of drains on you mentally. And then finished up in Vermont, went back home, talked to a couple SJ teams. One team was interested in me, and I was going to maybe go up there. But in my mind, I was like, listen, I knew, so RC, the coach of Richmond, like, he's the best coach I've ever played for, and the guy's a legend, like, loves his players, like, moves everyone on and stuff. And I knew I could either go back to the SJ, in a town of 200 people, like 40 hours from home, or I can go to Richmond where I know what I'm getting. I could still go D3, because at that point I was like, listen, I'm not going Division 1 or something, because in my head I was like, well, if I went to the SJ and did really good, like, maybe I have a chance. Nowadays it's tough because of the new rules and stuff, but back then, so I went back to Richmond, got an apartment. I lived there with Halsey and Candles, like, two guys we play with. So that was actually a lot of fun, like, really nice apartment. We had a blast, and being in Virginia was great. And that last year was like I know a lot of guys have, like, not, like, the best ending to juniors or whatever, but mine was, like, just perfect. Like, we had a great year. Our team was good. We won all the time, went to playoffs, played pretty much as long as you could for the USP season. We missed the finals by one game. My last junior game I played in was the game before. We won in overtime. So me and my goalie partners, he's at Lebanon Valley. He's a great kid. We alternated pretty much all year, so we were, like, winning, and it was just great, like, circumstances. And then committed to Potsdam after talking to a few other places, and then came up here, lived at the house you guys are in now, and then moved to 42. So it kind of, like, the Richmond apartment, and then last year, and then this year, kind of all, like, felt pretty much the same, especially because I was living with the same guys, and it was sort of the same, like, apartment style, especially at 36, like, smaller space. So it's definitely, like, this year living in the house is fun. Like, it can get a little, messy sometimes or whatever, but I like being around the guys, and that's always, like I said, been my biggest part with hockey was, like, when I'm 40 years old or 50 years old, I'm not going to remember, like, oh, we lost to so-and-so 5 years ago. Like, I'm going to remember, like, oh, you remember that time, like who, like, Candles fell down the stairs or something at that, or remember the time we sat in the living room and watched baseball all day or whatever. So I kind of been big on always trying to be, like, in the center of where things are, like, with the guys. So, like, that's why sometimes when I play with some people that aren't, like, always around or always hanging out, which everyone's different, but to me it's like fellas, like, in 4 years or 3 years, like, you're not going to have the opportunity to ever really do this. You have a wife, kid, whatever you're doing. So it's like I've always tried to been, like, involved as much as I can, because I know eventually it'll be over, and then you have to go and get a real job and not be a degenerate or whatever. But
just wanted to get you guys for a brief second. This podcast brought to you by Xcelsior Collective, obviously. We have our Flourish collection out now. And we're going to have some exciting stuff coming out in the summer. So we hope you enjoy what we've been doing with an underrated podcast. We hope we're amplifying some voices that you wouldn't have otherwise heard. If you do have the time, please go and check out the hats. We also have some shirts. We'll have a bunch of new stuff coming up soon. It's over at XcelsiorCollective.com or at Xcelsior.collective on Instagram.
What was it like?
Thank
so,
you.
like, obviously I just finished my freshman year. And it was pretty close to what I expected when I was coming in, I guess. Like, obviously there's, like, some things that you don't foresee when you come in. Like, none of us have been to college. So, like, you don't know.
Yeah.
What was it like for you, like, coming in? Because I know I had, like, my second season, it was pretty rough. And then for juniors, and then my third season, like my age out year, like I was winning a good amount, but like I played on 3 different teams. So
Yeah,
it was like a lot
bouncing
of
around.
moving. Yeah.
Well, that was like my second year. I bounced around.
Yeah.
So I played on 3. Well, Richmond, Vermont, Elmira, and Richmond again. So I bounced around a little bit too, and I like it sucked at the time, but looking back, like I liked that I was able to play in a bunch of different places. 'Cause I had to meet a lot of different people and like live in different areas, and I think a lot of that helped me with like life experience and learning how to act like as a person, like kind of as you grow up, like especially here, like you come in as an older guy, and I've noticed like not a lot of people, but some people around here who may come in here as 18, 19, and they lived in another small town or whatever, and it's just they kind of don't really have a grasp on like what things are actually important.
Yeah.
You know, and I've kind of really like sometimes I have to stop myself, be like, listen, they're still a kid or whatever. Like you're younger, we're 5 years older than them or whatever. But so that's why I really like enjoy the experience I had moving around in all those places, because then I was able to like be like, all right, like I understand people a little bit better because I've dealt with guys from Russia and guys from Denmark and guys who were good teammates and bad teammates and guys who like like you kind of like learn from other people, and I think that helped me when I got to school here. Like you said, like coming to school here, I was kind of nervous just because I haven't been in school in so long, and I was never like a great student to begin with. I always kind of had to grind through, and the only reason I did school was because of hockey. So like that's why, like if I wasn't playing hockey, like I don't think I'd be in college. So that's another positive with it. But when I came here, I was a little like nervous about like like how hard classes are gonna be, like how like my biggest thing was like finding the classes, and like I remember my first day here, like going around with Halsey and like walking to each class just so I wasn't late and stuff. And that first semester was definitely like a culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
Like just sitting in a classroom and not like, and just having to be there every day. I remember just like getting like anxiety just sitting in the room for 50 minutes before like you have a test or something. And, but like I was really nervous coming in about the school part. I wasn't really too worried about the hockey part, because the hockey part's like you could send me to Siberia and like I'll still hang out with this guys and it'll still be fine. But it's definitely different in school having to deal with like, it's not just hockey, it's not just your team anymore. Like it's like you have, whether you have a girlfriend or whatever, or like other people, other teams, like the bullshit like small school drama stuff that goes on around here, like just kind of like stuff like that. It was stuff I didn't expect at all. So I kind of learned pretty quickly, like, all right, you kind of have to like be mature about things and kind of keep to yourself sometimes, especially up here. Like you do one thing and everyone knows about it and stuff. So that was definitely new for me, because every place I played, especially in juniors, like I can go and burn a house down next door and like no one would ever like hear about it and stuff. Here it's a lot more like there's like a president and there's like academic advisors, and like today I went from a 95 to a 40 in my class. Like it's kind of like a lot of stuff like I was never worried about. Like my biggest worry in juniors was like just getting to practice on time in the morning and then figuring out where to eat lunch or whatever. Right here it's you had a million different things. So I found that balance has been like not as hard as I thought it was going to be initially, but as I've plugged along here, I've kind of found it harder to get into like the motivation of the school part. Like when I was in high school, like I remember just being like I hate school, and like would coast by and like show up whenever and do whatever. And I was still a good student, but like hated it. And my first year I came in like excited because I was like, oh, I haven't been in school in forever. Like, this is kind of be cool, like new people, like new scenery. But now, being at the end of my sophomore year, I'm kind of like, all right, like I'm done with this. But it'll be. I know that once I get through it, and I'll be done. Having that degree and a school and education and stuff can go a long way. So I'm glad that hockey's allowed me to like giving me the motivation to do that. So because I know without it, I'd be, I don't know, like working construction or something.
Yeah.
But,
I know, like when I got here, we had freshman orientation, and we were at like some assembly, and it was like clearly over. Like
Yeah.
everybody was done, and so like bunch of people stand up. Like we're in the theater, everybody stands up, and she's like, "I haven't dismissed you yet."
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, dismissal!" Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I've
well,
not
that's
dealt with this in
a crock of
ages.
shit with it. Like, because I have some buddies that go to other schools, and I like this school, it's fine, but this place is very high school like.
Yeah.
And then I'll talk to my buddies who go to like Tampa or something. Like, you could not go to class for 6 months, and no one would
Yeah.
question where you are, because the class is 130 people in it. Like, it's
Yeah.
not here. It's like, oh, attendance is mandatory. Like, okay, yeah, like I get you want people to go to class, but like, I mean, come on,
Yeah.
like they're also adults. Like, they're
Yeah.
not in high school. Like, let them do whatever. Like, if someone has to leave, let them leave. Like, it's kind of. But I remember my first couple weeks being here, like, in class, and I'm like, I remember telling, man, who was it? I don't know, someone on the team, might have been Dougie or Halsey, but I remember being like, do I like I had a piss, and I was like, do I like say anything, or do I just walk out? So it was like little stuff you haven't done forever that you don't even think about when you get here, and you're like, oh shit, like I don't know how any of this works, but you caught on to it pretty quick. It's really not that hard, like, especially here, just show up
Yeah.
for the most part, and you'll be fine. But a lot of definitely coming back into school was definitely different, but it was cool. You got to meet other people and stuff. Like, I met my girlfriend, which was great. It's just definitely, like I was saying, weird, not just being like you're on a hockey team and that's it.
Yeah.
Instead, you have to worry about like a million different things outside of hockey, like other teams and other bullshit, and like especially around here with like getting like in trouble, like you can't so it's a lot more like you got to be disciplined, and I think that's good, especially for me, and it like keeps everyone in check for the most part. But I think it also like can wear guys down over the course of time, and when everyone's like, oh, you only get 3 misses, you only get this, like this is going on, blah blah blah. Like it's kind of like, all right, man. Like, I'm 23 years old. Like,
and a lot of the kids don't even show. Like, I feel like I have the classes that I don't want to be in. Like, nobody else wants to be in, and they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know their grades can be so bad because of it, but it's like, I have a 98 in this class, and I can't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like don't need any of this information.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
in my major. Like, it's just a prereq.
Exactly. That's what I don't get. Like the class I was talking about today. Like, it's not my major class. I just took it to do fine. I have a 95 all semester, and then I guess I did all my homework but did it slightly wrong, and then 15 zeros come through in the morning. It's just like, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, like I woke up this morning feeling pretty good, and then logged on my computer and was like, great, now I have 8 million things. I have to email my advisor, I have to call my parents, I have to email the teacher, I have to meet with the teacher, I have to do 58 homework things because I don't know what the fuck's going on. So like, but like, again, like I was saying, like, it's all this shit like you think is stressful now and like sucks now. Like, once you're done with school and done with hockey, like, you're gonna be like, oh, I wish I could go back and have to go to class or have to do something. And that's the thing I've always been good with doing, is like trying to put things in perspective. Like in juniors, I would always try to like stay at the rink longer, like kind of look around, like actually like be present for everything. And that's how I was last year. And this year, like, kind of just got stressed out with like the mental toll of the game and school and some other things. And I kind of got away from that and started not having as much fun and not like enjoying things as much, because I was just, mad about the season or mad about being hurt or mad about whatever, when in reality, like, I talk to my dad and he tells me this all the time, like, it's like he's like, I wish I can go back and play a game for Oswego again. He's like, I don't care if we lose 15-0. Like, once you're 52 and have a job and family, like, oh, like, is it really that hard going to class or whatever? So like that's kind of what I've been trying to get back into, is like, right now it's probably going to be the easiest part of your life. To be honest with you, like, you have no responsibilities for the most part, like, besides school and hockey, like, so just enjoy it as much as you can, because like, especially for us, we're in a unique spot where we get 3 extra years because of juniors, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 years because of juniors, to have more of that. So that's why when kids would be like, oh, I don't know if I want to do juniors, like you start behind the 8 ball or whatever. In my mind, I was like, well,
Of course.
like, like wouldn't you rather like have 3 more years to
Yeah.
like have fun and enjoy yourself and like, because you're gonna go and work at 21. I'm gonna go work at 26, 27, and then we'll be doing the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, so
Yeah.
that's kind of how I always looked at it, was try to enjoy each year, even if it's not going good, because at the end of the day, like, you know, like you could be dead tomorrow. So it's
Yeah.
like, who really cares if you, it's not the best way to look at it, but like, who really cares like if you got a bad grade or like
Yeah.
the game went bad? Like it's like when you're 30, like you're not gonna
It's not
remember any of that. You're just gonna remember the good parts.
Yeah.
So.
No, and like with the idea of like looking around, it's something I did. I actually never did it until this year. I mean, we play in some of the best buildings like in D3.
Yeah.
So like before every game, like obviously you want to be like dialed in or whatever, but like I really try like when we get there to not like worry about the game for a bit and just like look around and like really like take it all in.
Yeah.
Like I think like again like the places we play are sick, so like it's fun for me to just like walk around and kind of get away from everybody and like see what it's really like there. And like obviously like I mean I visited a few of the schools in the SUNYAC, but like some of them I've never been to, and like it's kind of cool to see the way that like people who we're playing against, where their situations like what their facilities are like. And I think that helps. Like I
Yeah,
think,
well, that's like I said, when my dad was at Jenny when I was younger, I'd go to the games, and you'd see like, I know we didn't play there this year, but you'd see like the environment, all the fans and stuff, and you like are like, holy shit, like this is like unbelievable as a kid. And then you got older, and then I got here, and it's the same thing. Like, you know, like you get used to. Everyone's junior experience is different, but for me at least, like in Richmond we would do pretty good with the fans, but other places would be nothing or whatever, you know. So you kind of like, it's cool to be able to go to Oswego and play in front of 3,000, 4,000 people. Like again, like when I'm older, I'm be like, yeah, I got to play in front of all those people. Like that building was sick. I'm not gonna be like, oh, we lost there or whatever, you know. So like nothing's gonna be perfect, but like I think a big part that I need to do better going into next year, which I got away from this year, was just enjoying the grind more often than feeling like oh, I have to do this or I have to whatever, and more like I get to play hockey and I get to go to school when a lot of people don't. So like trying to understand that and enjoy more about what's going on, I think will help make the season feel less of like a grind, make school feel less of a grind, and then, you know, you'd be able to have more fun and not be miserable sometimes.
and that's like exactly like that's why like when I thought up of Xcelsior, obviously like I started it like a lot of years ago, but I brought it back with my co-founder like this year, and that's like what it was all about. Like I'm fortunate enough to where like I don't have to work a job during the school year.
Yeah.
So I have like some extra time, and obviously like this like gets me pretty busy, and like I'm staying up later than I usually would just to, like get stuff done. But it's like the idea that we try to embody is like exactly that. It's like we want to be representative of not only the hard work, because like for us, like I was telling Luch, like that's how my family raised me. Like hard work was cool. Like that was like the coolest thing you could do.
Yeah, exactly. I was my same way with my family.
Yeah, so like, and then it's like, I like love the grinding part. Like obviously like, especially like juniors, like when the seasons get long, and even here, like when you're in like February or like the end of January, it's like the weather's bad, it's dark all the time.
It's always bad.
Yeah, it's hard to get going. Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my god, my body hurts. Like I can't see the sun for another 4 hours, and then I only get it for 30 minutes. But that's like you're saying, like that's like the best part. Like the ability to be able to do that, and like while we can, like I want to play pro after college, and like I also want to have like a career in what I'm studying, but I know like the career for what I'm studying, I could start when I'm like 35 or 40.
It's not the end of the world.
So that's like that for us. That's what it's all about. And then like we always talk about it. One of our big pillars is like the social life aspect of it. And it's like, yeah, like it's good to work hard. Like it's good to work hard 90% of the time, but it's like that 10% is like really important to be able to like, for us, obviously it's like step away from the game, step away from school. But some people it's like, you know, like instead of just leaving work, going home and going to bed, it's like, leaving work, going to do an activity around your house, or like going out for drinks or something.
Yeah, I think for like my opinion on things, like the second you don't have something in your life that you enjoy doing is when you die, basically, kind of thing. Like for me, like I don't ever see myself like I want to play pro. I want to get into coaching and stuff. And if that works out, then I'm around hockey, which I love, so I'll never have a problem with it. But I just know a lot of people like who it's like they grind all week, they come home, which is like all to them, like the people who keep the country like moving and stuff. But it's just like I feel like if you don't have that like release in a healthy way, like obviously like it's good to go out and have some beers with your buddies and stuff. But like having something like even as simple of like for you now, like started a clothing brand or like I don't know, like do golf or do something. Like I just know a lot of people who like just go to work, go home, go to bed, and it's just like Jesus Christ, conscious cycle. And like I did that a little bit over the summer when I work, and I kind of see that, and I'm like, man, like people have to do this like all the time, and then there's not like, oh, we get to go to school now, or we get to go play hockey now. It's just all year thing, and that's why I say like everyone's got to do it at some point. So like it's kind of stupid to like be so upset about stuff. That's why like when we lose games or things don't go great, like obviously I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like I hate to lose and stuff, but also like sometimes guys get like really down and like like really just shut her down and stuff. And to me it's kind of stupid because it's again like even now like if you ask half the guys like, you guys upset still about whatever like the Plattsburgh game? No, like you know what I mean? Like it's just in the moment everything seems a lot bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, so. That helps a lot with like I'm definitely somebody who like immediately after the game, like it's like the weight of the world. Like I just like that's all I could think about. But like even especially the way we play like back-to-back nights, it's like, dude, if you're gonna like dwell on it for too long, like it's gonna completely impact you. Or like I even think that's like, like when teams have rough Mondays. Like I think that's part of it also. Like if you're so worried about what the outcomes of the last week were, like realistically you should have a standard that you set for yourself, and like the team culture should be that way too, to where like like whether you won or lost, like you guys are staying up to that standard or you're not. And like every practice should build up onto that. Yeah,
like I look at like in a hockey way, like people get real pissed and I understand it, but at the same time you're playing, like it all comes back to you're playing a game. You know what I mean? Like it's the same game you played when you were 4 and 5 and 6. And like, again, like I say, like none of us are going to the NHL. Like none of us like have to do this to put food on the table or do, like we're just here playing. Like realistically it would suck, but you can go 0 and 30 in a season. And at the time it'll probably feel like the biggest thing in the world. But then give it a month or a year, and then it's like, oh, well, like whatever. You kind of move forward with it. So, like, that's why I've said it a bunch, but I would say it to myself all the time last year when I was playing really good. I was like, when I'm 30, I'm not going to care about what happened when I was 23, like hockey-wise. I'm going to remember the good times and being with my friends and enjoying, like, the lifestyle of hockey. So what's the point of getting all worked up about it? If it doesn't go exactly perfect, especially now. Like it was different in juniors and travel because it's like you have to do good to get to school, but at this point it's like you're in school, you kind of got here. Obviously you want to play pro, but at the same time where we're at, like like you can only do that too for so long, so it's not like the end all be all, and you're already here. So it's like at this point it's just like you've made it kind of to where you want to be. So it's like why get so worked up about stuff, because then it's like, oh shit, like it's senior year, the year's over, and then you're done. You're like, oh, I wish I didn't stay in my room that night. We lost. Because I was upset. I wish I hung out with the guys one more time or stuff like that. So I kind of always tried to. Thing I implemented this year, which helped me before I got hurt, was more like kind of like a 15-minute rule. Like I'd be pissed about it in the room. Shower, go home, call my family, be upset for a bit, and then the second I got out of that car, go in my room, change, maybe think about it a bit there, and then done. And you go hang out with the guys and move forward from it. And I think that is like essential, especially during a long season. Because like I look at like I was watching like a baseball like documentary the other day, and they play 162 games in a season, and you see guys like after losses like in the behind the scenes, and like they're upset, but like some guys are still like joking around and hanging out, and like obviously you want to win and stuff, but like at the same time, it's such a grind throughout the year, and it's a long process. Same with college hockey, like it's a long thing. 4 years, like seasons aren't that long schedule wise, but it feels long.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to like get past stuff, then you're fucked, because then you're gonna end up hating it, and then what's the point of doing it if you don't like it? So, but
Absolutely. I think we had a good talk.
yeah, that was good.
Thanks for coming out. We'll definitely have you on again next year or when I get back for school.
Get me on here with Luch.